Armor Digivolution, a concept if you've watched basically any video on this channel I'm sure you're familiar with now, originating in Digimon Adventure 02, but we have seen right up to the modern day in things like Digimon Adventure Beyond. And through my years of research, scrolling on the internet, it's really surprised me just how many Digimon can Armor Digivolve in media outside of Digimon Adventure 02. Not just like Digimon Adventure audio dramas or video games, but like right down to the old card game. So in today's video, here's I believe every Digimon you'd never expect could Armor Digivolve. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX. Welcome back to another video. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. How dare you? And if you're a Digimon fan, I know you are going to absolutely love today's sponsor, Pilo and the Holobook. Pilo and the Holobook is out now on Nintendo Switch, Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. It's been developed by Mudita Games and published and sponsored by Red Deer Games. And there's even a demo available right now if you want to go check it out. But if you want to learn more about Pilo and the Holobook, it's an exploration-based adventure game set in a colorful galaxy where you guide Pilo, an apprentice explorer, on a journey to document the universe's wonders and solve mysteries. Using the Holobook, a powerful encyclopedia-like tool, Pilo collects stickers to record his discoveries and uncover the story behind a mysterious dark force known as the Tar. And looking at Pilo with those goggles on his head, I think you can all see why I thought he might be a good fit for you. The game features the Holobook sticker system, which lets you collect and customize stickers that document your findings in the Holobook, creating a personalized in-game encyclopedia. The art is phenomenal, with beautiful hand-painted planets, letting you immerse yourself in visually stunning environments that tell the story of each unique world. There's also environmental puzzles. You use the Holobook's abilities to solve light environmental challenges and uncover hidden areas. And with that thematic depth allowing you to dive into a heartwarming story about mentorship, friendship, and confronting environmental decay through compassion and creativity, I'm sure you're really going to connect with this game. As I said, the Holobook evolves. As you progress, the Holobook gains new capabilities, allowing deeper interactions with the world around them, tying you into that engaging story which lets you unravel the mystery of the Tar and its impact on the planets, with meaningful encounters and touching character moments. So if that sounds as good to you as it does to me, you can check out the demo right now for Pilo and the Holobook, or you can get the full game now available on Nintendo Switch, Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. Go on a cosmic adventure with Pilo and his trusty Holobook and discover the secrets of Galaxy XOP 642. Thank you to Pilo and the Holobook, Mudita Games, and Red Deer Games for sponsoring this video. Alright, so Armor Digimon you wouldn't expect can Armor Digivolve. I'm kind of putting these into categories. Starting off with just some Digimon that can Armor Digivolve that I couldn't quite put into any other category. The first is Terriermon. Now obviously this became Rapidmon in Hurricane Touchdown, so you might be thinking, well Karn, we knew that already. What you might not have known though is that it could also become Magnamon, due to the card ST55-1 from the original card game, or the older card game, which is a Magnamon card with evolution specifics of Vmon with the Digi-Egg of Miracles, makes sense, and Terriermon with the Digi-Egg of Miracles. I get this is just a reference to Hurricane Touchdown, but I just thought it was funny that Terriermon kind of stole Vmon's flow. Terriermon was also in Digimon Tamers though, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Also tangentially connected to Digimon Adventure 02 is Salamon, the rookie form of Gatomon. A lot of people have always kind of insisted that it would have been better if Gatomon had just de-digivolved in 02 and Salamon had Armor Digivolve, but I think they kept Gatomon for the marketability and just took her tail ring from her. She became Rabbitmon with the Digi-Egg of Friendship in Digimon Battle, and also in Digimon Battle became Oryxmon with the Digi-Egg of Hope and Nefertimon with the Digi-Egg of Light. But interestingly, due to BO627 and ST572, she could become Opossumon with the Digi-Egg of Kindness and Maildramon with the Digi-Egg of Fate or Destiny. There are missing Armor Digivolutions that Gatomon could also become, but it's nice that at least there is some lineup between Gatomon and her rookies Armor Digivolutions. And then I didn't want to quite put this in the 02 category or the Tamers category, but Lopmon could also Armor Digivolve. We've never seen it in the anime, sadly, but I do think it's fun that the sibling of Terriermon, both in Hurricane Touchdown / Digimon the Movie and Digimon Tamers, does have that ability, with Rapidmon Gold being able to Digivolve from Lopmon on ST388. Sadly, we've never seen this anywhere else as far as I know, and we have actually created our own custom Antilamon version of Lopmon's Gold and Armor Digivolution before, but I'd like to see this be more of a thing in future. Alright, moving on to our first category, which I think is very funny. You know how we talked about Gatomon being able to Armor Digivolve even though she's a champion? Well, inside media, all of the 02 champions have Armor Digivolved. Yep, X-Vmon, Aquila Aquilamon, Ankylamon, Stingmon, and Gargomon, I guess it's technically a 0-2 champion, again, it's also in Tamers, have all Armor Digivolve. In Digimon World DS, XVmon could become Flamedramon and Magnamon. Similarly, in Digimon World DS, Aquilamon could become Shurimon, but not Halcymon, okay. So you're kind of getting a theme here. XVmon gets Vmon standard armors. Aquilamon gets one of Hawkmon's standard armors, so we're sure to see Digmon and Submarimon here, right? Wrong. In Digimon World DS, Ankylamon can only become Sihomon, the Digi-Egg of Light evolution. Sure. Stingmon, interestingly, in Digimon World DS only becomes Kongomon, with the Digi-Egg of Miracles specifically, and Kongomon kind of is the de facto Wormmon Golden Armor Digivolution, so that makes sense. And then Gargomon in World DS becomes Prairiemon. Again, no, not Rapidmon Gold or anything like that you might expect. Just Patamon's Digi-Egg of Kindness armor. Sure. Which, by the way, Terriermon has never been seen to Armor Digivolve to, so all bets are off. Moving back from Adventure 02, given that Patamon and Gatomon were original adventure partners, we do have actually, weirdly, a good chunk of Armor Digivolution related to the adventure partners. Now here I am not talking about the audio drama Armor Evolution to the Unknown forms, because they are dubiously canon kind of jokes, but we do have Gabumon with the Digi-Egg of Friendship potentially being Kita Kitsunemon, Gomamon with the Digi-Egg of Reliability being Urashimamon, Palmon with the Digi-Egg of Sincerity becoming Chia Galmon, Biomon with the Digi-Egg of Love becoming Kukanchomon, and Tentomon with the Digi-Egg of Knowledge becoming Jikochumon. However, funnily enough, outside of that audio drama, we have actually seen adventure partners Armor Digivolve before. First off is Tentomon in the old card game to become Salamandermon and Flay Wizardmon, which I just think is super neat. And then Gabumon has also Armor Digivolved with the Digi-Egg of Friendship, which is the exact same Armor Digi-Egg it used in Armor Evolution to the Unknown. However, it became Kenkimon on Kenkimon's card ST645 with that Digi-Egg of Friendship. Not really sure why. Now moving forward from the adventure continuity, we go into Digimon Tamers. As I discussed, Terriermon, Lopmon, Gargomon have Armor Digivolve before, but so have a bunch of Digimon Tamers rookies and champions. So Guilmon and Renamon have Armor Digivolved, Guilmon becoming Flamedramon with the Digi-Egg of Courage, and Tylomon with the Digi-Egg of Reliability. I think the Flamedramon thing makes a ton of sense. Guilmon is the spiritual successor to both Vmon and Agumon. Not quite sure why Tylomon, I guess just because of the kind of like dinosaur-y shark vibes going on. I do like that they made Renamon become Raidramon in the old card game on Raidramon's card SP9, because I have said for a long time now that I do believe that Rika really is the mat of Digimon Tamers, so it's nice to see that crest of friendship be kind of transferred over to her a little bit even inside media. Gardromon, regular Gardromon, a champion, and that was the partner of Kazu of course in Tamers, has Armor Digivolve. In Digimon World DS with the Digi-Egg of Friendship to Kenkimon, I think that makes sense. Kenkimon is a friendship Armor Digimon, it's very mechanical and robotic, I can see the connection there. Impmon has gotten a lot of Armor Digivolutions. Armor Digivolving 3 times in the old card game to I think forms that are very perfect for him. My favorite is Thunderbirdmon, which yeah, that looks totally in the Impmon Beelzemon evolution family, especially with that headpiece. It also became Noheimon with the Digi-Egg of Sincerity, and again makes total sense to me. Noheimon, I think, with its red scarf and its purple crow, would be a great evolution for Impmon, and one that people I don't think consider as much. I always kind of go with Wizardmon into Balmon, but I think Noheimon makes a ton of sense too. And then Quetzalmon with the Digi-Egg of Light, which I can't quite make as many good arguments for, but it does work in my head somehow. And finally is Rio's partner, kind of bridging that Adventure Tamers gap, Monodramon, who has become Kabukimon and Depthmon. I don't think there's a ton of super thematic reasons for this as far as I'm aware, but it's certainly an interesting set. Then we got some really random rookies and champions I'm going to throw off quickfire. With the Digi-Egg of Courage, Chumon can become Salamandermon, and with the Digi-Egg of Light, it can become Sihomon. Black Gabumon also gets to get in on Gabumon using the Digi-Egg of Friendship to become Kenkimon. Gotsumon, I guess it was a partner in Digimon Adventure 02, so out of all Digimon, this would kind of make sense that it could Armor Digivolve. It just was partnered with an international Digidestin, but it's used the Digi-Egg of Friendship twice to become Stegomon and Thunderbirdmon in the old card game. Haguramon I didn't include in the Tamers segment because it was never really shown like with Kazu, but it would certainly be Gardramon's pre-evolution, and it can become Kongomon with the Digi-Egg of Destiny, fine. Solamon can also become Kenkimon. This is a very popular robotic machine Digimon evolution, I guess. Clear Agumon can Armor Digivolve for some reason, but they never did it for Toy Agumon, just Clear Agumon, okay. It can specifically Golden Armor Digivolve into Elephantmon and Peacockmon using the Digi-Egg of Miracles, and Maildramon using the Digi-Egg of Destiny. Kokuamon, one of my favorites, can also Golden Armor Digivolve with the Digi-Egg of Destiny to Rhinomon. Wizardmon, I think naturally it makes a ton of sense, can use the Digi-Egg of Courage to become Flame Wizardmon. I mean, that is one of the most straight up obvious Armor Digivolutions you could think of. This happened in Digimon Collectors, but also in Digimon Digimon World DS, Wizardmon could use the Digi-Egg of Sincerity to become Ponchomon. The Digimon World Data Squad partners can also kind of Armor Digivolve. I'm not going to go through all of these because it's kind of dubious. In Digimon World Data Squad, there are Armor Digivolutions in the Galaxy Evolution system. For example, Falcomon can become Terramon, as well as things like Mambomon and Toucanmon. Lalamon can become Tylomon, and indeed this is even the reason why some sites state that Gabumon can Armor Digivolve to Moosemon. However, it can't really. Gabumon is on Gaumon's Galaxy Evolution system, and then Moosemon is one of the potential evolutions that Gaumon or Gabumon can become. It's a little bit messy. They're more like conventional evolutions that happen to become Armor Digimon. You can count them, you can not count them, but I did want to mention that specifically in Digimon World Data Squad, the Digimon Data Squad partners kind of become Armor Digimon. And then there's Gardramon Gold, who is a weird little guy. In Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory, he can just become Magnamon and Rapidmon using their respective Digi-Eggs. I really don't know why this is a thing. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's like a shortcut to Armor Digivolution, I guess, or a shortcut to Golden Armor Digivolution specifically, but a weird one. Another weird one is Volcamon, which can use the Digi-Egg of Friendship to become Pile Volcamon in the old card game. However, this isn't really Armor Digivolution, as Pile Volcamon isn't an Armor Digimon, question mark. This is more of a reference to the fact that staff members like Volcano Ota, the inspiration for Volcamon and Pile Volcamon, would sometimes change costumes, as Ravelmonte talked about in 2022. This actually expands into the idea of 7 types of Volcamon, perhaps each requiring a different Armor Digi-Egg. And this little inside joke has continued right up to Cyber Sleuth, where Pile Volcamon talks about being the mightiest of Volcanomon's 7 Digivolutions. Then our X Antibody Digimon. This is a wild one to me. Gatomon X can become literally every single Armor Digimon that Gatomon can become. Lynxmon, Rabbitmon, Swanmon, Kabukimon, Butterflymon, Tylomon, Oryxmon, and Nefertimon. But not content with regular Guilmon, Guilmon X can also do the same thing, becoming the same evolutions as Guilmon, Flamedramon, and Tylomon. Gabumon X, keen to keep on the Kenkimon party, can indeed become Kenkimon. Gotsumon X becomes the same Digivolutions as Gotsumon, Stegomon, and Thunderbirdmon. Salamon X gets less Armor Digivolutions than Salamon, just being able to become a Possumon and Maildramon, but not Nefertimon, and we've never seen it happen anyway. Haguramon X returns to form, matching Haguramon and becoming Kongomon, as does Kokuamon X, that also only gets Rhinomon. Then one that surprised me the most, really, given that they're already a kind of Armor Digivolution, or a reinterpretation and new take on a similar concept, literally taking spirits and digivolving with them to form an armor. The Spirit Digimon, yeah, Agunimon, Chakmon, Fairymon, and Wolfmon can all Armor Digivolve. It's not a particularly surprising set of evolutions, but it is interesting. Agunimon becomes Flamedramon with the Digi-Egg of Courage. This is very clearly a connect back to Flamedramon and their shared fire element. Chakmon with the Digi-Egg of Friendship becomes Toge Mogumon, which I kind of like because Toge Mogumon is an ice-based friendship armor. Kazemon, though, becomes Shurimon with the Digi-Egg of Sincerity. Interesting they didn't go with the Digi-Egg of Love, which tends to be more bird and flying themed, but instead the Digi-Egg of Sincerity, the more kind of like grass life set of Armor Digi-Eggs. But I do think it actually makes sense when you consider that a lot of grass Jungle Trooper Digimon are also fairy Digimon, and indeed the Digi-Egg of Sincerity gets its power from Palmon in its evolution line, which ends up in Lilymon and Rosemon. So that connection to Fairymon I think actually kind of works. And then Lobomon as the light spirit gets the Digi-Egg of Light evolution, Gargoylemon. I mean, it's not perfect, but I definitely see how it works. I don't mind that. But finally, the set of Digimon that I was most perplexed can Armor Digivolve is Armor Digimon. Yes, Searchmon, Sethmon, Toucanmon, Sihomon, Kabukimon, and Mambomon can all Armor Digivolve. This happened in Digimon Collectors, and my opinion is that it's something more like Slide Evolution, but it still requires an Armor Digi-Egg to be unlocked. So they're kind of sliding along potential evolutions. Searchmon becomes Shadramon. They are both typically Wormmon armors. Sethmon becomes Raydramon, again, typically Vmon armors. Toucanmon becomes Halsamon, both Hawkmon armors. Sihomon becomes Submarimon. These are both Armadillomon armors. Kabukimon becomes Nefertimon, both Gatomon armors. And Mambomon can become Mantareymon with the Digi-Egg of Reliability, which also are both Patamon armors. So that is it, the concise list of Digimon that can Armor Digivolve that you might never expect. I've tried to be as comprehensive as possible, referencing the Digimon Wiki, Wikimon, and the Digimon reference book, as well as a very handy Game FAQs walkthrough of Digimon World Data Squad Evolutions by Raging Tiger 86. But if you've got a specific Armor Digivolution that you never would have expected or didn't know about, let me know in the comments down below. I'm not talking about Digimon from Adventure 02. Obviously, they all have Armor Digivolutions. And I'm also not talking about Digimon that could become armor forms conventionally. For example, we see some Hawkmon in Digimon Ghost Game naturally digivolve to Orcamon rather than using Digi-Eggs. But if there is an example you think I've missed of specifically a Digimon using an Armor Digi-Egg to become an Armor Digimon? Let me know in the comments down below, I'm always curious. Thank you to my sovereign ZDK14 and everyone else who supports me over on patreon.com/Karn EX, and to all my YouTube supporters. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time when we go digital.